Hello everybody, welcome back to Valecast. My name is Simon. Today I'm joined by Cal. Say hello, Cal.
Hello, Simo. Another week's gone by very, very quickly. So,
Far too quickly in my opinion, mate. Before we start, as always, this show is brought to you by Motive. Please like and subscribe to the Deveronvale YouTube channel. It really does help us on our media side. We're going to jump straight into it and review our Scottish Cup fixture from the weekend just gone, and then look towards our Highland League fixture on the Saturday. Callum, so we faced we faced the replay that we earned at our home ground all the way to the I want to say the east of Scotland.
yeah.
Yeah, to play Haddington Athletic, where we were put out on penalties. Unfortunately, just the one penalty missed. Young Sam Robertson, obviously the club is massively behind him, so was the support and supporting him through that. No shame in going out that way. I've always been of the opinion that penalty shootouts are a bit of a coin flip, and it's often just about there's far too many variables. It's not necessarily who's the best opposition. It's just who's more cool and calm, collected on the spot on the day. But I mean, it was a good fixture against Haddington over two legs. I think both clubs are quite glad that we came together in the Scottish Cup to play each other. There's been a sort of good relationship made there, and two really competitive matches. More importantly, two teams really testing themselves against each other. I'll come to you, Callum. Give us your thoughts on the fixtures over two legs.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd agree with you there, Simo. I think it was two very good games of football. I think both sides can be very proud of their efforts. Obviously, we wish that the result had gone the other way, I suppose, in the replay there. But as you say, penalties come along, and it's a wee bit of a lottery, I suppose, really, in terms of that. It does. It's always harder, I think, being an away team during a penalty shootout as well. And yeah, unfortunately, we just came up short on that. With Sam's penalty, it's not like he ballooned it over the bar. It was a very good save from the Haddington keeper. So, can't take anything away from Haddington. I think they, on the whole, are deserving of their place in the second round. Just as I think the same could be said for ourselves had the penalties gone the other way. So, and yeah, as you say, as a club, we're firmly behind Sam. Somebody has to miss at some point in a penalty shootout, and it's just unfortunate that it was him. Looking back at the game itself, though, taking away the penalties, it was Sam's determination that led to our goal in the first place. So it's just it's a crying shame for the young man who has shown fantastic personality and attitude to come back into the team. There was a wee time that he was finding himself on the subs bench. And struggling to get game time. So, he's got himself back into that starting 11, done himself proud on almost every occasion that I've seen him play, to be honest with you. And, I think it's important to remember that one kick of the football doesn't define a player's career, So yeah, we'll be firmly behind him as always, just the same as we are behind all the boys. And hopefully we'll go on to bigger and better things as a club in the not too distant future. But yeah, as I say, over the two games, obviously very tight. Two draws after 90 minutes. I think on the balance of Saturday, it was a shame it went straight to penalties, and we didn't get an extra 30 minutes there to get an opportunity, I suppose, to maybe nick a goal there, but. Yeah, it's just the way that the cup's been formatted this season, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I can't take anything away from Haddington. I think they've shown themselves to be a club that should be playing at a higher level than where they're at just now, and I'm sure they have those aspirations themselves. So, but yeah, good to meet them all. It's a good chance to make friends with new teams across the country. So we wish them the very, very best for their second round match against Brecon. And as I say, it's just unfortunate that there had to be a loser on the day, I suppose.
Nah, absolutely. Missing a penalty is no measure on a player's ability at all. We see the most expensive players in the world miss penalties on a weekly basis, so it's absolutely no measure in the player. Like you said, he has been really positive. I think I've seen Sam play twice, and he's had he's been a standout performance each time. Being really creative on that right side of the wing, which is he's a talent. You can see the boy's talented, and this is absolutely no measure. Haddington go through a difficult match against Brecon. We wish them all the best for that, obviously. I think that pretty much sums up a Scottish Cup run. It was disappointing to go out in that round, but
Yeah.
ultimately, like a fairly positive experience in terms of like playing a fixture we've not played before, creating a sort of new relationship with another club, and playing two really competitive matches. I think there was 500 spectators at our replay, which is absolutely insane.
I believe it was close to a record crowd for them, which just shows the magic of the Scottish Cup, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's a competition that
There's
every club
plenty of
wants to
Vale
be involved
supporters
in.
there as well.
Yes,
That crowd.
And I would say just before we move on, so a massive thank you to all the Vale supporters that came down. I mentioned last week that it's not a cheap business following a team, around the country. So a massive thank you to them for doing their best to outsing the Haddington supporters on the day. And I hope they, despite the result, enjoyed their away day and their trip down to whether they stayed in Edinburgh or just went straight back up the road. Enjoyed their trip to Haddington, to a new ground for us, so another one ticked off the list. But yeah, the support of the Vale fans is, whether it's home or away, is always so important.
From an online point of view, the general support was really positive for a team that's exited the cup. The general support from the Vale fans was extremely positive in terms of, I think, what they've seen in the pitch. They were pretty much happy, I think, what they've seen in the pitch. So a lot of desire to get us over the line. We get all the way to the shootout on an away fixture, and it just happens that it's not.
I think it's one of those. I think the fans appreciate that as well. It's a different story if we'd gone down there and got pumped 4-0 or something. That's a different story. But
it's a different Valecast.
Well, yeah. But a battling performance from the guys. As I say, somebody has to lose on penalties. Otherwise, we might still be playing today. So it's somebody ultimately is going to miss a penalty or have a penalty saved in this instance. And yeah, as I say, it's just the rub of the green sometimes that it went against us. Obviously, it doesn't help, when you're shooting, in a net with Haddington supporters, 5 foot away from it or whatever. But that's what it is, I suppose. But yeah, I think ultimately over the two games, we can be very proud of that performance. Coming back, in the first game, getting that last second winner equaliser to get the replay in the first place. Going down there, taking the lead. I think there's a lot of positives to be taken from that. Yes, it's a cup competition and ultimately we've been knocked out, but I think there's a lot more positives there than there are negatives, both in terms of performance and general attitude from the guys. So yeah, it's a positive experience despite the result, I would say.
Absolutely. And go on to more positive experience. We turn back to our league form. On Saturday, this Saturday coming, we will face Turriff. Turriff are a team that are, I'd say, struggling this season. As a look at the league table, they are without a win. So I think that puts us favourites, considering we are significantly higher on points. They had a 3-0 loss to Keith. It was their last league fixture. We are unbeaten, I believe, in 4 or 5 in the league. We're on a really actually. There's a few draws in there, but in terms of the opposition getting one over on us, we're becoming a harder team to beat. Teams go ahead of us, and they're never safe.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hoping this.
Absolutely.
I mean, not to pile on the misery of. In fact, to pile on the misery of Turriff, I hope we go there and we have, for the first time in a while, just a clear sort of dominant game. And I would like to see us get a clean sheet and a couple of goals. That's what I would do.
That'd be ideal, wouldn't it? That'd be ideal. I mean, I'll go one better and say, it'd be good to see Dane getting a hat trick this weekend, just to lump a bit of pressure onto his shoulders again. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a local derby in a sense. We're obviously, Turriff to Banff isn't that far of a journey, so it's always a game that's kind of hotly contested. I think league form, to a certain extent. Yes, I know what you're saying there in terms of Turriff's kind of sticky patch that they've had of late. Obviously a 3-0 defeat last time around to Keith, who haven't been without their struggles themselves this season. We come in unbeaten. I think it's 4 in the league, because we've obviously had a couple of weekends of Scottish Cup. So, maybe the form is with us. But again, when you have these kind of derby matches, that form does go, or the league table predictions and stuff goes out the window a little bit. And it's whoever wants it most on the day. Turriff are a very well supported club as well. So I'm sure, the Turriff United fans will be out in numbers and roaring their boys on to victory. But, we know nothing less from the Vale fans as well, So, and the fact that it is so close as well, hopefully we get a good away support there. to drown those guys out. And yeah, we've had some good experiences playing away at Turriff, in the last couple of seasons. I think there was maybe about two or three seasons ago. We were kind of on the other end of it. We were coming in with maybe a bit of a sticky run of fixtures ourselves, and then came in, and I think it was possibly even a last-minute winner as well at that one that kind of revitalised our league campaign. So yeah, certainly a very winnable game. Just can't be complacent with it, of course, but that's one that hopefully we can see another 3 points on our tally come Saturday evening.
Yeah, very much agree. It is a derby, and they will be looking for that first win of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are 10 games played and only amassed 3 points from those 10 games, which is obviously a disappointing start for them. But we can't be the one to give any sort of leeway in their season. I think we go in. Obviously, we've had an upturn in form over the past sort of I'd say sort of 5 or 6 week period. As our team gels together, we're in. A lot of fans understand that we're in a new transitional period with new coaching, new assistant manager, new manager, and a lot of new faces in the squad. And speaking of new faces, we've added a lot of depth up front. Something that was maybe needed. A lot of pressure goes on to Dane to perform every time he's on. And obviously, this is Dane's sort of return season. So if there was some sort of respite for him. Even if it's just 10 minutes at the end of the game or something.
Exactly. I mean, it's a lot of pressure put on his shoulders. Coming out from a long time out to just be the number 9 again. It's not easy. So I think Nathan Ross returning to the club, is a great piece of business from Craig and the guys. So we're delighted to see him back. He's as I also had a previous spell with the Vale through the youth system and. A couple of years of Highland League experience with the first team, and currently sitting on 7 Vale goals. So hopefully we can see that being number 8, this weekend. Hopefully, you never know.
Absolutely.
He comes, with a very good pedigree, a bit of time spent in the juniors, a wee bit of time in the amateurs. I think he played a trial game for Keith, possibly 2 weekends, possibly even in that victory over Turriff. So he's obviously going to be chomping at the bit to stake his claim for a starting place.
Quite convenient.
Oh, absolutely, it'd be great, wouldn't it? So yeah, it'd be very interesting if that was the case. We should maybe do a bit more research on this show before we go live. But
this is a Valecast.
Raw and unplugged. So, but he can do a job on the wing, can do a job through the middle. I think a great addition to the squad. As I say, the fact he's got not just league experience but Vale experience before is a big positive. Obviously, keen to come back, and no doubt had his options to look elsewhere as well. So, we're delighted to have him, and hopefully, this is the start of another campaign with the Vale for him. So, that, as you say, it just kind of alleviates that wee bit of pressure off of Dane. We've seen Robert Scott kind of returning on the bench the last couple of weeks. So again, he's coming back into kind of match sharpness and fitness, having kind of been out of the team for a wee bit. Grant Noble's been getting more of a run as well. So, plus, like Rory Davidson, Max Stewart support in there as well. It's a very good forward line that we have. And I think, Nathan coming in just gives it that, a wee bit more support as well. So looking forward to seeing him back in a Vale shirt this weekend.
For me, it kind of almost feels like almost the final piece of the. I just feel like a wee bit more depth, and a fresh legs to put on 70, 80 minutes in. It would be hugely better. That's something I feel that we really lacked in the Aberdeenshire Cup. Was just a wee bit of rotational sort of change to bring on later in the game, up front wise. And I think this is definitely a positive thing for us, and obviously we're a much better side with Dane in the side, and the results they speak to that.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about the depth that's there. The back line, from goalkeeper up to that kind of midfield area where we do have a number of good options. Yes, we have had some rotation up front as well. When Dane was out with his wee injury as well. But yeah, I think adding Nathan in there just gives it that extra wee edge of, experience of putting the ball in the back of the net. At this level, I think is it's never to be sniffed at when an opportunity to bring a player like that comes in. It's obviously worked with Craig. He sees where Nathan will slot into this system. So yeah, I think you could just be right. That might just be the final wee bit of the jigsaw that we needed to have that complete team, or complete squad. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they all kind of click together.
Absolutely, I am too. And I hopefully can continue progressing up the table. I think just about every time we play, we kind of move. For the past sort of 5 or 6 weeks, at least we just keep moving closer to our rivals that are above us. Some other fixtures around the league this season. Brecon take on Bucky. They're two teams that are floating around the top of the league, so a bit of a competitive fixture there as well. But our eyes very much on the Vale as we hope to pile the misery on the turf.
Sorry, boys.
I hope to see all the Valecast viewers, of which there's about 100 every single week, and I hope next week when we come back to you, we come back with some great news and a positive result, which takes the Vale up the table. As always, this show is brought to you by Motive. It's brought to you every Thursday or Friday night, depending on a midweek fixture. I think it'll be Thursdays for the foreseeable. But thank you very much for joining me, Callum.
No, thank you very much, Simon. Always good to see you and speak about the Vale every week. Nothing better, is there? So, thanks again. Well, exactly. It's a highlight in my calendar, that's for sure. Thank you to all the guys that are watching. We are seeing the subscribers kind of slowly building up as well. We had that wee kind of spike maybe about a month or so ago. So hopefully we can get onto that again. So, but please do interact with us as well. We don't just want you to sit and listen to us when you're having your tea on a Thursday evening. So, there's the comment section there that you can get involved with. Once we do hit that kind of magic 100, we will go live, and it's an opportunity for you guys to come on the show possibly as well, and kind of have your Vale questions answered as well. So please do just let us know if you're enjoying the format. If there's things you'd like to see different, if there's other things that we can add to the show, then just let us know. This show ultimately is for the Vale supporters first and foremost. So please do just let us know. We're always happy to get your feedback.
Absolutely. Until next time, cheerio, bye.